class, and welcome to Lesson 3 from Hunt Valley Church. I'm Marge, for those of you who don't know me. How are you? I don't hear you, but usually we answer by saying, fine, thank you, or we'll say, I'm good, thanks. So I'm going to ask you to do that. How are you?
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine, thank you.
All right, and the other response, which a lot of people use, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good, great, thank you. That's very good, thank you. All right, let's look at and pronounce the vocabulary words. I have a really long list for you tonight. Okay, first one is irregular, and I have underlined, like I usually do, the syllable, the part of the word, the section that is to be said more heavily, stressed. That's the stress in the word. Irregular. You say it.
Irregular.
Incomplete.
Incomplete.
Unfinished.
Unfinished.
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
Campaign.
Campaign.
Elect.
Elect.
Halloween.
Halloween.
And I forgot to underline, but this is the part that is stressed, Halloween. Okay. And the last one, idiom.
Idiom.
Thank you. Okay. So, to explain these words, irregular means not regular. Anytime you see IR in front of something, it means it is not. The other way we express negativity, it is not, is with IN. Incomplete means not complete. It's not finished or unfinished. We also use UN. So these are three ways that we use to express something is not the rest of the word. All right, unhealthy, like unfinished, not healthy. And that would be food that is very fatty or fast food, not healthy. Campaign. A campaign is when a group of people get together and they do actions to get a certain result. And the reason I put this up is I'm sure you're hearing this word a lot because President Trump and Joseph Biden, our former vice president, have been on a campaign to be elected, chosen to be the president of the United States. Now, Donald Trump is trying to be elected for a second four-year term. That's the way our country works. So campaign can also be a verb. When they're out there campaigning, that's the action. A verb is action. So that can be a noun or a verb. Elect also can be a verb. When we go to the polls and we vote, which we all should do if we can, then we are doing an action. That's an action. We are voting we're electing the next president. Okay. Halloween, that's a holiday that if you've been in this country, you most likely know about Halloween because it's pretty darn big holiday these days. It never used to be when I was a kid, but that was a long, long time ago. And Halloween, children dress up in their costumes, and even adults, they have parties, and they go from door to door. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. but they go from door to door to collect candy, and they say trick or treat. And so that's Halloween. You'll also see some really crazy decorations, like things that look like ghosts, sheets. People put sheets hanging down from their trees and supposed to look like a ghost, and skeletons, and you'll see some really crazy things. Lots of orange lights, and people decorate a lot for Halloween. Next word, last vocabulary word is idiom. Idiom. Say that for me.
Idiom.
Okay. You have most likely heard this. If not, you have heard some idioms. And what an idiom is, it's an expression, and it's used in everyday English. It's part of our English language. But you really can't tell what the meaning is of an idiom from the words. It has a completely different meaning from the words that are in that sentence. So that's what we have. You want to say all of these again for me? Irregular,
Irregular.
incomplete,
Incomplete.
unfinished,
Unfinished.
unhealthy,
Unhealthy.
campaign,
Campaign.
elect,
Elect.
Halloween,
Halloween.
idiom.
Idiom.
Great, thank you. Okay. In lesson 1, we reviewed the simple present tense. And I've filled this board up with all that stuff. Simple present tense is things like I brush my teeth every day. And tonight we're going to talk about the simple past tense. This is all probably review for you all. I brushed my teeth every day becomes I brushed my teeth 3 times yesterday. Alice likes cherry pie. Last year she liked apple pie. We watch TV at night becomes we watched TV for 3 hours last night. You speak English. You spoke very well. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Speak did not become speaked. Why? Because that is an irregular verb. It changes its form. And I'll teach you some of those tonight. There's a large number of irregular verbs in our language. If you have a student book for level 3, some of you I'm sure still have your book, around about page 157 is an entire page full of irregular verbs. These words, these action words, change their form completely when they go into the present tense. But I'm going to teach you some of these tonight. If you don't have a book, you can also Google irregular verbs, and you'll see some others. And here we go. All right, irregular verb of go, or past tense of go. These are things that I have to do today. I have to go to the bank. That becomes, okay, I got that done. I went to the bank. And I have to do the laundry. All right, got that laundry done, so I did it. I did the laundry. I have to get a haircut. So I went and I got a haircut. I have to write a thank you note. I have to write a note. So today, after I finish doing that, I can say I wrote a note. I have to take the dog for a walk. When I came back, I can say, well, I took the dog for a walk. take becomes took. I have to give the dog a bath. When I finish that, I can check that off my list and say, okay, I gave the dog a bath. Give becomes gave. Simple past tense. I have to ride my bike every day. I like to ride my exercise bike every day. I'm lying. So after I finish doing this thing that I really don't do, I can say I rode my exercise bike today. So ride becomes rode. Very different. All right. Number 8. I have to eat lunch. So this afternoon, I said, I think I remember eating lunch. Did I eat lunch? Oh yeah, I ate lunch. Eat becomes ate. I have to drive the kids to school. Not happening so much these days, but I can say I drove the kids to school this morning. I like to swim in the pool, so I'm going to swim in the pool. I swam in the pool every day this summer that was warm. That's a lie too, because I don't have a pool. Number 11, see a movie. I like to go and see a movie. After I finish, I can come home and say, I saw a really good movie, or I saw a terrible movie. I'm so sorry I went. All right, so that's irregular verbs. Now, I just want to say, if you're tense about these tenses, I completely understand. Tense has 2 meanings. Tenses, present tense, past tense, and there's another way of expressing tense, and that's when you're really uptight, really nervous. That's being tense. And best way I know how to describe it is just to do like that, because that's tense. Okay, strained. Strained is another word. All right. Okay, the next thing is, how's my time, girls? Do we know? Okay, so I have, okay, good. The next thing we're going to do is idioms. As I told you, idioms are a figure of speech. We call it a figure of speech. The individual words or the separate words don't give you the meaning of what we're really trying to say, but yet they're still a part of our everyday language. You hear them all the time. And here are some. The one that everybody really knows without being taught, it seems, I get this from my teachers, my students in the past 2 years, is it's raining cats and dogs. I think you hear that a lot. When it's raining really hard, people will say it's raining cats and dogs. That means it's really coming down hard. It's raining very, very hard. The other one is, if you want to ask your friend how they're doing, you might say to them, "What's cooking?" or "What's cooking?" "What's cooking, good looking?" And that means, what's new? What do you do? Or what are you doing? What are you doing, or what's new? What's new with you? What's cooking? Say you're working at home. You're working on your work that you're doing for, work at home thing, or you are involved in planning your Thanksgiving Day menu, or you're planning something, and you're really concentrating. The phone rings. You answer the phone and you say, "I can't talk to you now. I'm tied up right now." Doesn't mean you're sitting in a chair with ropes around you. It means you are very busy. I'm tied up right now. Okay. All right, if someone says to you, I'll give you a ring tomorrow, that doesn't mean you're gonna get engaged to be married if you're single, or you're gonna get a new piece of jewelry. It means I'm gonna call you on the phone because the phone rings. Usually it rings, but now since we have these new phones, we can make it do anything. My phone sings or plays a song, and a lot of people do that. But if you hear, I'll give you a ring tomorrow, that's what it means. It means I'll call you on the phone tomorrow. All right, if you hear that English test was a piece of cake, that means that test paper didn't turn into magically a piece of cake. It means that it was easy. It means that test was easy. If something's a piece of cake, it means it's very easy. On the other hand, if you hear the English test was no picnic, that means it was difficult. It's not sitting on the grass with a blanket and a basket of food. Okay, so listen for these. Try this week, or keep on trying. Try and use one or two of them in your own life. And listen for them, because I'm telling you, now that you know a few, you will probably hear them. Okay. Now, that's really it for tonight. And you know you can play these lessons over and over again if I've gone too fast or you missed some of it or something like that. You can play these lessons. If you want to go back and review lesson 1, you can do that. You can just review by going onto YouTube. You already know how to do that if you're here, if you're listening. Okay, we always end our lessons with a Bible verse. And I've chosen this one for us. And it comes from the book of Psalms in the Bible. It comes from Psalms, Psalm 118, we call it. It's actually, okay, Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. To rejoice is to be extremely happy, like you just won the lottery. You would rejoice. Yay! God knows that we have struggles. Everyone has struggles. And the Bible says to rejoice in this day and in each day. How can we rejoice when we have troubles, if we're sick? We know people who are sick. We know people who have had tragedies, or the days are just not going very well and we feel very bad. We're struggling. How can we rejoice? We can rejoice because we have God's grace. We have His grace. Knowing that you'll make it with God by your side. God's grace is what He gives us that we don't even deserve. He loves us even when we mess up or we're tempted to do something wrong. So it's easy to rejoice if we win the lottery or we look at these beautiful fall days and the pretty leaves. So it's easy to rejoice. But we can and should rejoice every day because we have the grace of God. And I really like that, don't you? Okay, so be safe, and we will see you our next lesson.